Summary of the book The Art of Happiness, by Dalai Lama and Howard Cutler. Interpreted and summarized by Nanay Steff. Chapter 1. The Purpose of Life. In the opening chapter of The Art of Happiness, the Dalai Lama and Dr. Cutler embark on a profound exploration of the purpose of life. They delve into the fundamental question of what gives our existence meaning, and how we can attain true happiness. The authors emphasize that the purpose of life is not merely to pursue external achievements or accumulate material possessions. Instead, they propose that genuine and lasting happiness arises from within ourselves and is cultivated through the nurturing of positive qualities. Central to this understanding is the concept of compassion. The Dalai Lama and Dr. Cutler emphasize that true happiness is intimately linked to our ability to cultivate compassion, love, and kindness towards all beings. They argue that by expanding our circle of compassion beyond ourselves, we recognize the interconnectedness of all living things. This recognition, in turn, leads to a deep sense of purpose and fulfillment. Furthermore, the authors explore how fostering positive qualities within ourselves not only benefits others, but also brings us greater joy and contentment. They argue that acts of compassion and kindness generate a sense of inner peace and well-being, creating a positive ripple effect in our lives and the lives of those around us. By recognizing the interdependence of all beings, the Dalai Lama and Dr. Cutler encourage readers to cultivate a sense of responsibility and empathy towards others. They emphasize that our actions, whether small or large, can have a profound impact on the well-being of individuals and communities. Ultimately, the purpose of life, as illuminated in this chapter, is to transcend self-centeredness and cultivate an open-hearted approach to the world. Through acts of compassion, love, and kindness, we align ourselves with a deeper purpose, find fulfillment in our connections with others, and discover the true art of happiness. Chapter 2. Human Warmth and Compassion. In Chapter 2, they dive into the profound significance of human connection and the transformative power of compassion. They emphasize that cultivating empathy and compassion not only enriches our relationships with others, but also plays a pivotal role in our own happiness and fulfillment. The authors explain that human warmth, which encompasses qualities such as empathy, kindness, and understanding, is essential for fostering meaningful connections with others. They suggest that when we approach interactions with a genuine desire to understand and support others, we create an environment where trust and compassion can flourish. To illustrate this, the authors may share the example of a friend who demonstrates genuine empathy during difficult times. For instance, when someone is going through a challenging period, a compassionate friend actively listens without judgment, offers words of comfort, and provides a safe space for emotional expression. This display of human warmth not only strengthens the bond between the two individuals, but also provides solace and support, leading to a greater sense of happiness and well-being for both. Furthermore, the authors highlight the reciprocal nature of compassion. They emphasize that by extending compassion to others, we also nourish our own hearts and minds. When we empathize with someone's struggles, share their joys, and offer kindness, we experience a deepening connection and a sense of shared humanity. This connection cultivates a sense of fulfillment and purpose, as we recognize that our lives are intertwined with the well-being of others. The Dalai Lama and Dr. Cutler also explore the concept of compassion, extending beyond our immediate relationships. They emphasize the importance of extending compassion to strangers, and even those with whom we may disagree. By adopting a compassionate mindset, we can transform conflicts into opportunities for understanding and growth, fostering harmony and well-being in our communities and the world at large. For example, they may discuss the efforts of individuals who work towards promoting peace and reconciliation in areas of conflict. These peacemakers embody the power of compassion by seeking to understand the underlying causes of conflict empathizing with all sides, and working towards finding common ground. Their actions inspire others, and contribute to the creation of a more harmonious and compassionate world. In summary, Chapter 2 underscores the vital role of human warmth and compassion in our lives. By nurturing empathy, kindness, and understanding, we not only deepen our relationships with others, but also experience greater happiness and fulfillment within ourselves. Compassion becomes a transformative force that fosters a sense of shared humanity, builds trust, and promotes harmony in our relationships and communities. Chapter 3: Transforming Suffering. In Chapter 3 of The Art of Happiness, the Dalai Lama and Dr. Cutler delve into the profound topic of suffering, and offer insights on how to transform it into an opportunity for growth and resilience. They explore concepts such as acceptance, forgiveness, and the role of mindfulness in finding inner peace even in the face of challenging circumstances. The authors highlight that suffering is an inherent part of the human experience. They explain that while we cannot always control the external circumstances that cause suffering, we have the capacity to transform our relationship with it. By cultivating a mindset of acceptance and understanding, we can navigate through difficult times with greater resilience and inner peace. To illustrate this, the authors may share the example of someone who has experienced a significant loss, such as the death of a loved one. Through the practice of acceptance, this person acknowledges the pain and grief they feel, but also recognizes that suffering is a natural part of life. By embracing their emotions and accepting the reality of their situation, they can begin the process of healing, and find inner strength to move forward. Furthermore, the authors discuss the transformative power of forgiveness. They emphasize that holding on to resentment and anger only perpetuates suffering. By cultivating forgiveness, we liberate ourselves from the burden of negativity, and open the door to healing and personal growth. Forgiveness does not mean condoning harmful actions, but rather, it is a process of letting go, and freeing ourselves from the grip of negativity. For example, the authors may share the story of an individual who has experienced betrayal. Through the practice of forgiveness, this person releases the resentment and bitterness that had consumed them. By choosing to forgive, they regain their inner peace, and restore their emotional well-being, allowing them to move forward with greater clarity and positivity. The Dalai Lama and Dr. Cutler emphasize the role of mindfulness in transforming suffering. They explain that by developing awareness, and staying present in the moment, we can observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment. Mindfulness allows us to cultivate a compassionate and non-reactive stance towards our suffering, helping us develop a sense of inner calm and clarity. An example to illustrate this: as someone who faces chronic pain or illness, through the practice of mindfulness, they learn to observe their physical sensations and the accompanying emotional responses without becoming overwhelmed. By cultivating a non-judgmental awareness of their experience, they can find moments of peace and acceptance, even amidst the challenges of their condition. In summary, Chapter 3 highlights the transformative potential of suffering. By embracing acceptance, forgiveness, and mindfulness, we can navigate through difficult times with resilience and find inner peace. Transforming suffering becomes an opportunity for personal growth, healing, and the cultivation of a compassionate and resilient spirit. Chapter 4: Overcoming Obstacles. In Chapter 4 of The Art of Happiness, the Dalai Lama and Dr. Cutler delve into the various obstacles that hinder our ability to experience true happiness. They explore obstacles such as fear, anger, and attachment, and provide practical guidance on how to overcome them through self-reflection, understanding the nature of our emotions, and cultivating a positive mindset. The authors emphasize that these obstacles often stem from our own mental and emotional patterns, which can cloud our perception and impede our happiness. By becoming aware of these obstacles and developing strategies to address them, we can navigate through life's challenges with greater clarity and resilience. To illustrate this, the authors may present the example of someone who experiences fear as a significant obstacle to their happiness. This person may be held back from pursuing their dreams or taking risks due to fear of failure or judgment. The authors suggest that through self-reflection and understanding the nature of fear, this individual can develop strategies to gradually overcome it. By examining the underlying causes of their fear and challenging limiting beliefs, they can cultivate courage and take steps towards personal growth and fulfillment. The authors also address the obstacle of anger, highlighting how it can disrupt our well-being and relationships. They discuss how unresolved anger can lead to a cycle of negativity and harm. However, they offer guidance on transforming anger into constructive actions and cultivating forgiveness and compassion as antidotes to anger. For example, the authors may share the story of an individual who struggles with unresolved anger towards someone who has wronged them. Through self-reflection and understanding, this person recognizes that holding on to anger only perpetuates their suffering. By cultivating forgiveness and compassion, they free themselves from the grip of anger, allowing healing and the restoration of positive relationships. Furthermore, the authors explore the obstacle of attachment, emphasizing that clinging too tightly to external circumstances or outcomes can lead to dissatisfaction and suffering. They encourage readers to cultivate a sense of detachment and acceptance, recognizing the impermanence of life and the importance of inner resilience. An example to illustrate this is someone who experiences deep disappointment and unhappiness when things don't go as planned. Through self-reflection and understanding, they realize that their attachment to specific outcomes is causing them unnecessary suffering. By cultivating a positive mindset and a sense of detachment, they learn to embrace life's uncertainties, adapt to change, and find happiness in the present moment. In summary, Chapter 4 explores the obstacles that hinder our happiness and offers practical guidance on overcoming them. By engaging in self-reflection, understanding the nature of our emotions, and cultivating a positive mindset, we can navigate through fear, anger, and attachment, allowing for greater resilience, contentment, and well-being in our lives. Chapter 5: Relationships and Love. Chapter 5 of The Art of Happiness explores the profound significance of healthy relationships and their impact on our overall happiness. The Dalai Lama and Dr. Cutler delve into the qualities that contribute to fulfilling relationships, such as trust, respect, and effective communication. They also emphasize the importance of self-love and self-care in fostering harmonious connections with others. The authors emphasize that relationships are fundamental to our well-being and can bring immense joy and fulfillment to our lives. They discuss the importance of cultivating qualities, such as trust and respect as the foundation of healthy relationships. Trust allows for vulnerability and openness, while respect fosters a sense of equality and appreciation for one another. To illustrate this, the authors may share the story of a couple who have built a strong foundation of trust and respect in their relationship. They prioritize open and honest communication, expressing their needs and concerns with compassion and understanding. By cultivating trust and respect, they create an environment where both individuals feel seen, heard, and valued, leading to a deep sense of fulfillment and happiness in their relationship. The authors also highlight the importance of effective communication in nurturing healthy relationships. They discuss the significance of active listening, empathy, and expressing oneself authentically and kindly. By developing effective communication skills, individuals can foster deeper connections, resolve conflicts, and create a space where both partners feel understood and supported. For example, the authors may share the story of a friendship that thrives on effective communication. These friends actively listen to one another, validate each other's experiences, and offer support and guidance when needed. Their open and honest communication creates a strong bond of trust and allows for growth and shared experiences. leading to greater happiness and fulfillment in their friendship. Additionally, the authors emphasize the importance of self-love and self-care in cultivating healthy relationships. They explain that nurturing a loving and compassionate relationship with ourselves allows us to show up authentically and wholeheartedly in our connections with others. By prioritizing self-care and setting boundaries, we establish a foundation of well-being, from which we can engage in meaningful and fulfilling relationships. An example to illustrate this could be someone who recognizes the importance of self-love and self-care in their romantic relationship. They prioritize their own well-being by engaging in activities that bring them joy, setting boundaries to protect their emotional health, and practicing self-compassion. By nurturing their own happiness, they are able to bring their best selves to the relationship, fostering a strong and mutually fulfilling connection. In summary, Chapter 5 underscores the significance of healthy relationships and love in our pursuit of happiness. By cultivating qualities such as trust, respect, and effective communication, and by prioritizing self-love and self-care, we create a fertile ground for fulfilling connections. These relationships contribute to our overall happiness, providing support, joy, and a sense of belonging in our lives. Chapter 6 Self-Generated Emotion. In Chapter 6 of The Art of Happiness, the Dalai Lama and Dr. Cutler delve into the profound impact of our thoughts and emotions on our overall happiness. They explore the concept of self-generated emotion and shed light on how we can cultivate positive mental states. By training our minds through practices like meditation and mindfulness, the authors emphasize that our thoughts and emotions have a significant influence on our well-being. While external circumstances can certainly impact our mood, they suggest that we have the power to shape our internal experiences through intentional mental and emotional cultivation. To illustrate this, the authors may share the example of someone who faces a challenging situation at work. Instead of allowing negative emotions, like anger or frustration, to overwhelm them, they consciously choose to approach the situation with a calm and compassionate mindset. By reframing their thoughts and consciously generating positive emotions, such as patience and understanding, they navigate the situation with greater ease and experience a sense of inner peace and contentment. The authors emphasize that self-generated emotion is not about denying or suppressing negative emotions, but rather about cultivating positive mental states that lead to greater well-being. They discuss the practices of meditation and mindfulness as effective tools for training the mind and generating positive emotions. For example, they may explain how a regular meditation practice can help individuals develop greater awareness of their thoughts and emotions, allowing them to consciously choose positive and uplifting mental states. By observing their thoughts without judgment and practicing self-compassion, individuals can cultivate a more positive and resilient mindset. The authors also highlight the role of mindfulness in generating positive emotions. They explain that by being fully present in each moment and engaging in activities with mindful awareness, we can cultivate a sense of joy and gratitude. Mindfulness helps us appreciate the beauty and wonder of everyday experiences, leading to a greater sense of happiness and fulfillment. An example to illustrate this could be someone who practices mindfulness during their daily routine. They may find joy and contentment in simple activities, such as drinking a cup of tea while engaging fully in a conversation, or appreciating the beauty of nature. By cultivating mindful awareness, they generate positive emotions and develop a deep sense of gratitude for the present moment. In summary, Chapter 6 highlights the power of self-generated emotion in shaping our happiness. By training our minds through practices like meditation and mindfulness, we can cultivate positive mental states and generate uplifting emotions. By consciously choosing our thoughts and nurturing positive emotional states, we have the ability to create a profound sense of well-being and fulfillment in our lives. Chapter 7 The obstacles to happiness. In Chapter 7 of The Art of Happiness, the Dalai Lama and Dr. Cutler delve into the common obstacles that hinder our ability to experience genuine and lasting happiness. They explore obstacles such as negative emotions, self-centeredness, and a materialistic mindset, and provide guidance on how to overcome them. In order to cultivate a more sustainable sense of happiness, the authors emphasize that negative emotions, such as anger, hatred, jealousy, and greed, create inner turmoil and disrupt our well-being. They discuss how these emotions often arise from a distorted perception of reality and self-centeredness. By recognizing and addressing these negative emotions, we can pave the way for greater happiness and fulfillment. For example, the authors may share the story of an individual who frequently experiences anger and resentment towards others. Through self-reflection and understanding, this person comes to realize that their anger stems from a sense of entitlement and a focus on their own needs and desires. By cultivating empathy and compassion, they gradually overcome their negative emotions and foster healthier and more harmonious relationships, leading to a deeper sense of happiness. The authors also discuss the obstacle of self-centeredness, emphasizing that a preoccupation with oneself often leads to dissatisfaction and a lack of genuine connection with others. They suggest that by shifting our focus from self-centeredness to cultivating an attitude of altruism and concern for others' well-being, we can experience a more profound and sustainable happiness. To illustrate this, the authors may present the example of an individual who has been driven by a materialistic mindset, constantly seeking external validation and accumulating wealth and possessions. Through self-reflection and a shift in values, this person recognizes the emptiness and lack of fulfillment that comes from a solely self-centered pursuit of material gain. By redirecting their focus towards acts of kindness, generosity, and contributing to the well-being of others, they discover a more authentic and meaningful source of happiness. Furthermore, the authors explore the detrimental effects of a materialistic mindset, which often leads to a never-ending cycle of desire and dissatisfaction. They discuss how the pursuit of material possessions, as a primary source of happiness, can ultimately leave us feeling empty and disconnected from deeper sources of fulfillment. An example to illustrate this could be someone who constantly seeks happiness through the acquisition of the latest gadgets or luxury items. They may accumulate a vast collection of possessions, yet find themselves perpetually unsatisfied, and always desiring more. Through self-reflection and a shift in perspective, they come to realize that true happiness cannot be found in material possessions alone. They begin to prioritize experiences, relationships, and personal growth, discovering a more meaningful and lasting sense of fulfillment. In summary, Chapter 7 addresses the obstacles to happiness and provides guidance on overcoming them. By recognizing and addressing negative emotions, shifting from self-centeredness to altruism, and freeing ourselves from a materialistic mindset, we can cultivate a more sustainable and genuine sense of happiness. Through these transformative practices, we create the conditions for a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Chapter 8 The Four Noble Truths. In Chapter 8 of The Art of Happiness, the Dalai Lama and Dr. Cutler delve into the profound teachings of the Four Noble Truths, a central aspect of Buddhist philosophy. They explore the nature of suffering, its causes, and the path to liberation from suffering through cultivating wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. The authors begin by discussing the first noble truth, which states that suffering is an inherent part of human existence. They emphasize that suffering encompasses not only physical pain, but also mental and emotional anguish, dissatisfaction, and the transient nature of life. By acknowledging the existence of suffering, we can develop a deeper understanding of its pervasive nature and its impact on our lives. To illustrate this, the authors may share the story of an individual who experiences various forms of suffering. such as illness, loss, or relationship challenges. Through self-reflection and an acceptance of the first noble truth, this person begins to recognize that suffering is an unavoidable aspect of life. By embracing this truth, rather than resisting it, they can approach their challenges with greater resilience and develop a more compassionate and accepting attitude towards themselves and others. The authors then delve into the second noble truth, which addresses the causes of suffering. They explore how attachment, desire, and ignorance contribute to the perpetuation of suffering. Attachment refers to clinging to transient experiences, relationships, or material possessions, while desire creates a sense of craving and dissatisfaction, and ignorance, in this context, refers to a lack of understanding of the true nature of reality. For example, the authors may illustrate the second noble truth by describing the experiences of someone who constantly seeks external validation and happiness through accumulating wealth, fame, or relationships. This individual may find that no matter how much they achieve or acquire, a sense of fulfillment remains elusive. Through self-reflection and understanding, they begin to recognize how attachment and desire perpetuate their suffering. By cultivating a sense of detachment, contentment, and an understanding of the impermanence of all things, they can gradually liberate themselves from the cycle of craving and dissatisfaction. The authors then introduce the third noble truth, which offers hope by stating that the cessation of suffering is possible. They discuss the importance of recognizing that suffering can be transcended through cultivating wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. To elaborate, the authors may present the example of someone who embarks on a spiritual or personal growth to alleviate their suffering. Through practices such as meditation, self-reflection, and the study of wisdom teachings, this person gradually develops a deeper understanding of the causes of their suffering. By cultivating ethical conduct and moral values, they align their actions with principles of compassion, kindness, and non-harm. Through mental discipline and training, they gain greater control over their thoughts and emotions, experiencing increased inner peace and a reduction in suffering. Finally, the authors explore the fourth noble truth, which outlines the path to liberation from suffering. They discuss the Eightfold Path, which encompasses right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. These aspects of the path provide a framework for cultivating wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline in our daily lives. An example to illustrate the fourth noble truth could be someone who actively integrates the Eightfold Path into their life. They engage in practices that develop their understanding of the nature of reality and cultivate right thought, speech, and action in their interactions with others. Through conscious effort and mindfulness, they align their choices and behaviors with compassion, wisdom, and inner peace, gradually experiencing liberation from suffering. In summary, Chapter 8 explores the profound teachings of the Four Noble Truths and their relevance to cultivating happiness and liberation from suffering. By acknowledging the nature of suffering, and by understanding its causes. Chapter 9 Cultivating Compassion and Action. In Chapter 9 of The Art of Happiness, the Dalai Lama and Dr. Cutler emphasize the significance of integrating compassion into our daily lives and taking action to alleviate the suffering of others. They discuss the transformative power of acts of kindness, altruism, and service, highlighting how these actions not only benefit others, but also contribute to our own well-being. The authors begin by emphasizing that compassion is a fundamental quality that connects us to others and promotes a sense of interconnectedness. They explain that cultivating compassion involves developing empathy, understanding the suffering of others, and actively wishing for their well-being and happiness. To illustrate this, the authors may share the story of an individual who witnesses a homeless person on the street. Instead of ignoring their plight or feeling indifferent, This person is moved by compassion. They recognize the shared humanity and the potential for suffering in the homeless person's life. Motivated by this compassion, they take action by offering a warm meal, a kind word, or even connecting them to resources that can provide further assistance. Through this act of kindness and compassion, both the giver and the recipient experience a sense of connection, empathy, and upliftment. The authors also highlight the importance of extending compassion beyond immediate circles, and reaching out to those in need, whether they are strangers, or people facing challenging circumstances. They emphasize that compassionate action can take various forms, from volunteering at a local charity, supporting a cause, or simply offering a helping hand to those in need. For example, the authors may describe an individual who volunteers at a community center for underprivileged children. Through their presence, support, and mentorship, they contribute to the well-being and development of these children, offering them hope and encouragement. In engaging in such acts of service and compassion, they experience a deep sense of fulfillment and purpose, knowing they are making a positive difference in the lives of others. The authors also discuss the benefits of compassionate action for our own well-being. They explain that engaging in acts of kindness and altruism not only benefits others, but also brings about a sense of inner joy, contentment, and fulfillment. By focusing on the well-being of others, we shift our attention away from self-centered concerns and develop a broader perspective that leads to greater happiness. An example to illustrate this could be someone who regularly volunteers at a local animal shelter. Through their service, they provide care and love to abandoned or mistreated animals. In return, they experience a profound sense of joy and fulfillment, witnessing the impact of their actions on the well-being of these animals. This compassionate engagement serves as a reminder of the interconnectedness of all living beings, and reinforces their own sense of purpose and happiness. In summary, Chapter 9 highlights the importance of cultivating compassion and taking action to alleviate the suffering of others. By integrating acts of kindness, altruism, and service into our daily lives, we not only contribute to the well-being of others, but also enhance our own sense of fulfillment and happiness. Through compassionate action, we forge connections, cultivate empathy, and reinforce the fundamental truth of our interconnectedness as human beings. Chapter 10: A Balanced Approach to Life. The final chapter explores the importance of finding balance in our lives. The Dalai Lama and Dr. Cutler discuss the need to cultivate a holistic approach to happiness, balancing material and spiritual pursuits, work and leisure, and the external and internal aspects of our lives. In The Art of Happiness, offer practical and profound insights into the art of finding happiness and fulfillment. Through their conversations, they explore the importance of compassion, mindfulness, self-reflection, and positive mental states. The book serves as a guide to cultivating happiness and creating a more meaningful and compassionate life. In the final chapter, the authors emphasize that a balanced approach to life is essential for sustainable happiness and well-being. They explain that focusing solely on material wealth, possessions, and external achievements often leads to a sense of emptiness and dissatisfaction. Similarly, neglecting our spiritual well-being and inner growth can result in a lack of purpose and a feeling of disconnection. To illustrate this, the authors may share the story of an individual who has achieved great success in their career, accumulating wealth, status, and recognition. However, despite their external accomplishments, they feel a sense of hollowness and lack of fulfillment. Through self-reflection, they recognize the importance of cultivating a more balanced approach to life. They begin to prioritize their relationships, self-care, and personal growth, alongside their professional pursuits, discovering a greater sense of overall well-being and contentment. The authors also discuss the significance of balancing work and leisure. They highlight the detrimental effects of excessive work, and the importance of carving out time for rest, relaxation, and activities that bring joy and rejuvenation. They emphasize that by integrating moments of leisure and recreation into our lives, we replenish our energy, reduce stress, and enhance our overall happiness. For example, the authors may describe someone who dedicates most of their time and energy to their work, neglecting their personal relationships, hobbies, and self-care. As a result, they experience burnout, strained relationships, and a diminished sense of joy and fulfillment. Through introspection and guidance, they recognize the need for a more balanced approach. They start prioritizing leisure activities, spending quality time with loved ones, and engaging in self-care practices such as exercise, hobbies, and mindfulness. As a result, they experience a renewed sense of vitality, improved relationships, and a greater overall sense of happiness. Furthermore, the authors explore the significance of balancing the external and internal aspects of our lives. They explain that while external circumstances and material possessions can contribute to our well-being, true happiness also depends on our internal state of mind, our values, and our relationship with ourselves. An example to illustrate this could be someone who has dedicated their life to accumulating wealth and possessions, believing that these external markers of success will bring lasting happiness. However, despite their material abundance, they find themselves plagued by inner turmoil, anxiety, and a lack of fulfillment. Through introspection and self-reflection, they realize the need to cultivate their internal world. They start prioritizing practices such as meditation, self-reflection, and cultivating positive mental states like gratitude and compassion. By nurturing their inner well-being, alongside their external achievements, they experience a more profound and sustainable sense of happiness. In summary, Chapter 10 emphasizes the importance of finding balance in our lives. By cultivating a holistic approach that encompasses material and spiritual pursuits, work and leisure, and the external and internal dimensions of our lives, we create the conditions for lasting happiness and well-being. Through this balanced approach, we foster a sense of fulfillment, purpose, and harmony in our lives, allowing us to experience a deeper and more meaningful sense of happiness. Here are some key pointers from each chapter of The Art of Happiness. Chapter 1. The Purpose of Life. Exploring the concept of happiness as a long-term state of well-being rather than a fleeting emotion. Recognizing the role of personal responsibility in shaping our own happiness. Understanding the interconnectedness of all beings and the impact of our actions on others. Chapter 2. Human Warmth and Compassion. Examining the importance of empathy in cultivating compassion and developing deeper connections with others. Exploring the transformative power of forgiveness and its role in healing relationships. Recognizing the benefits of cultivating a sense of altruism and extending kindness to both friends and strangers. Chapter 3. Transforming Suffering. Discussing the concept of acceptance as a means to find peace amidst challenging circumstances. Exploring the role of gratitude in shifting our perspective and finding contentment in the present moment. Recognizing the value of mindfulness in developing resilience and overcoming the grip of negative emotions. Chapter 4. Overcoming Obstacles. Reflecting on the role of fear and its impact on our ability to experience happiness and personal growth. Examining the nature of anger and its potential for destructive consequences, as well as strategies for anger management. Discussing the pitfalls of attachment and the benefits of cultivating non-attachment and letting go. Chapter 5. Relationships and Love. Emphasizing the importance of cultivating trust and honesty in relationships. Exploring the idea of unconditional love and its ability to foster deeper connections. Recognizing the significance of self-love and self-care in maintaining healthy and fulfilling relationships. Chapter 6. Self-generated emotion. Discussing the impact of our thoughts on our emotional well-being and happiness. examining the benefits of cultivating positive mental states such as gratitude, compassion, and joy, exploring the practice of meditation as a means to train the mind and cultivate inner peace. Chapter 7: The Obstacles to Happiness, reflecting on the role of envy and jealousy in hindering our own happiness and well-being, discussing the dangers of a materialistic mindset and the pursuit of external validation, exploring the concept of ego and its impact on our ability to experience genuine happiness. Chapter 8: The Four Noble Truths, understanding the role of desire and craving as causes of suffering, reflecting on the impermanence of all things and the need to develop equanimity, exploring the concept of interdependence and its implications for our understanding of suffering and happiness. Chapter 9: Cultivating Compassion and Action, reflecting on the idea that compassion is a trainable quality that can be developed through practice and intention, discussing the importance of extending compassion not only to others but also to ourselves, exploring the potential for altruism and acts of kindness to create a ripple effect of happiness and well-being. Chapter 10: A Balanced Approach to Life, reflecting on the importance of finding purpose and meaning beyond material pursuits, discussing the benefits of simplicity and reducing attachment to material possessions, exploring the concept of mindfulness and its role in cultivating awareness and balance in our lives. These pointers offer additional insights explored in each chapter of the book, providing a broader understanding of the teachings and wisdom shared by the Dalai Lama and Dr. Cutler. This book taught me to embrace the beauty of imperfection and find joy in the journey, for true happiness lies not in reaching the destination, but in the art of living each moment with gratitude and love. Once again, this is Nanay Steff. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and follow.